Are you considering using a buyer's agent to buy your next house but not sure if it's the right choice? In this video, we'll explore the pros and cons of working with a buyer's agent to help you decide. I've also included some tips on how to pick the right agent in case you want to use one to help you get the best results. You don't want to miss out on this valuable information. First things first, what is a buyer's agent? Simply put, a buyer's agent is a real estate professional who represents you, the buyer, in the process of purchasing a home. They work on your behalf to find the right property, negotiate the best price and terms, and handle all the details of the contract. Probably one of the most common questions I get is who pays the buyer's agent? Well, in most MLS transactions, the seller has already agreed to pay the buyer agent and the listing agent from the proceeds of sale. So in that case, the buyer doesn't pay the buyer's commission directly, but it is built into the transaction and it's part of the purchase price. You may hear some agents promote the idea that a buyer's agent is free for the buyer. Now you know the truth. But there can be some situations where the seller doesn't pay the commissions or only pays a smaller amount than agreed to on the buyer agency agreement. For example, a for sale by owner home may not offer a commission. In this case, the buyer, if they choose that house, they'll owe the buyer agent commission directly, and that amount will be right on top of the purchase price of the house. Here's a question for you. Have you ever been or are you afraid of getting stuck with an agent that you don't like or doesn't seem to be effective? If you would, leave a comment on that. I'd really like to read that. That leads me to the next question, which is at the top of the list. When you sign a buyer's agency agreement, are you stuck with that agent for any home you purchase, like the FSBO I just mentioned? There's a lot of situations where using an agent may not make sense for you. For example, you're looking for a house and a family member decides they want to sell their house and you'd like to buy it. Do you have to include the agent and pay the commission? The answer is if you signed a buyer agency agreement exclusive without adding any stipulations, then yes, probably so. But here's what I want you to know. You can add any stipulation or any condition to any buyer's agency agreement. Use the family member example of just a second ago. If you don't want them involved in that, include that in the contract. That's just one scenario. There can be any number of scenarios. Just think through what you do and don't want your agent to be involved with. If you want to add conditions to a buyer agency agreement, you might get pushback from the agent. If you do, find another agent. My point is you're not locked into anything if you know that you can include or exclude anything you want on a buyer's agency agreement. So, should you use a buyer agent? Well, that depends on your circumstances and your individual needs. But here's a few ways a buyer's agent can be helpful. First, there's expertise. A good buyer's agent will have extensive knowledge on the local real estate market, including which neighborhoods are in demand, what homes are selling for, and which properties might be overpriced. They can also help you navigate the complex process of buying a home, from making an offer to closing the deal. In terms of time saving, buying a home can be a time-consuming process, especially if you're doing it on your own. A buyer's agent can handle much of the legwork for you, freeing up your time to focus on other things. The most important element an agent can bring is the ability to help you focus on what you actually want and can afford, then keep you from taking too many detours on the road to finding a home that'll serve you well for years. There's negotiation skills. A buyer's agent is trained to negotiate on your behalf, which can be especially useful if you're not comfortable haggling or dealing with a tough seller. Access to listings. Many buyer agents have access to listings that aren't available to the general public, which can give you an edge when it comes to finding the perfect home. For example, agents in a particular office can share new listings with each other before the public, so that's going to definitely give you an edge. Now let's talk about what to do and what to look for in an agent that'll help you get good results. Make sure to interview several agents. Buying a house can be really stressful, and you'll want someone who you can trust and communicate well with. Pick someone who will not try to sell you on anything. In my opinion, the realtor's job isn't to sell, it's to facilitate a decision you've already made and to help you know if it's a good choice. This includes letting you know if the house you've fallen in love with isn't a very good deal. The bottom line, pick somebody you trust. Easy access. Find somebody who picks up the phone or is at least readily available by text, and ask them about their response time with voicemails and emails. This can be a huge deal when the pressure is on and a decision has to be made. Ask about their supporting cast. any agent that does any kind of volume will have established strong relationships with other professionals like lenders, inspectors, and title companies, to name a few. You're not obligated to use any of them, but you can bet these people are on top of their game and they'll give you a smooth ride. It can take years to establish a solid working relationship with quality vendors. Real estate is their livelihood. This is going to sound harsh, but anybody that's doing real estate on the side may not be able to focus on you and your needs to the extent necessary to get the job done well. When a deal goes well, it can seem like the whole thing is super easy. I understand that. But the catch is, when things do go bad, is the person that you pick skilled enough and tough enough to manage the problem? So, should you use a buyer's agent? If you're looking to save time, get expert guidance, and negotiate the best deal possible, then the answer is probably yes. However, if you're comfortable handling the process on your own and willing to put in the time and effort, then you might be able to go it alone. Ultimately, the decision to use a buyer's agent is completely up to you, but now you can weigh the pros and cons and decide if working with an agent is something that you want to do. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has helped you understand the benefits of working with a buyer's agent and whether or not it's right for you. If you like this video, tell a friend, give it a like to help me spread the word, and subscribe so you know when the next one drops. As always, I appreciate you and your time. Talk to you soon.